The life cycle of an economic system is the same every time. You get one nation that produces something very good, and everybody spends their gold in order to get that product from that producing nation. That producing nation then gets a lot of gold, and every other nation runs out of gold. So then what happens is that producing nation, the labor becomes too expensive because everybody's making a lot of money and their standard of living goes up. So the US used to produce steel. The people who make the steel are getting so much gold that they're getting 2 cars instead of 1. They're buying more houses, they're buying nicer clothes, more clothes. And so when that happens, the price of labor goes up. If the price of labor goes up, it becomes more expensive to produce. So if it's too expensive to produce, you'll just buy that same product from somewhere else where the standard of living is lower and the labor is cheaper. And so what happens eventually is you have an economic collapse where all the gold of the producing nation then goes away from that producing nation because the standard of living was too high and it became too expensive to produce. If the US used to produce steel and then the standard of living went up and it cost too much to keep that standard of living up, you have to get your products from somewhere else. And if you get your products from somewhere else, that gold that was in that producing nation goes away. And so what the US has done differently is that we promised other countries that if they used the US dollar, we have their gold. We would hold on to it. $1 equals $1 of gold. Well, when the nations wanted their gold back for that US dollars, we simply said no because they were using US dollars. There's no other currency to use and they're stuck. So then just use the US dollar. It's the life cycle of an economic system. Always happens that way and it'll happen again after this one.